What's up, everybody? Spencer here from Combo Collectibles, coming at you from FAN EXPO Canada 2022 with the legendary voice actor, Steve Blum.
Where?
Steve, thank you so much for doing this today. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for being here. You caught me at a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you've done so much in your career. I'm not going to lie, it was really hard to pick a starting point for this interview. But I know you got the Guinness World Record for being the most prolific video game voice actor, among other records. So I was wondering...
Quantity, not quality.
Absolutely.
Just pointing that out.
It's both.
Yes.
Let's be real. I was wondering, could you tell us some of the differences between recording a game versus a show, and what are the unique challenges that come with each side of that?
Oh, interesting. Well, games, typically, we have to record a lot more lines in a singular session. And there's a lot more pressure to get quantity done in a game. There's just so many possibilities. So that in itself is a challenge, and then we have to maintain the character throughout and not let that energy drop. So that's the biggest challenge in video games. In original animation, back before the apocalypse, we got to record as a cast, and it was more like a radio play. And then it was really fun. We got to work off of each other's energy. It's the game situation is usually a solo type of recording, unless you're doing performance capture or that sort of thing. But we are by ourselves in that room, and it's really up to us to imagine what the other characters are saying and doing, and we have to rely much more on our director's input for giving us all the context that we need. And then in anime, it's a whole different thing, because we're doing all of those things, but we're also juggling the technical aspect of matching what's on screen, what's been done before.
Right.
Lip flap by lip flap. So it's 3 different skill sets, but the acting is the same on all of them.
Okay, very interesting. Now, after doing so many different voices, what's it like trying to come up with new ways to use your voice for the new characters? What's your process to come up with all these new voices?
That's a surprisingly organic process for me. Generally, I just go by either an image, which conjures the voice immediately for me. If I don't know if you're like me, but when I used to read comic books, I would hear the voices of the characters in my head as I'm reading.
Yeah, you read it in their voice.
All I'm doing is just externalizing that. So It's the same for voicing new characters, unless they give me very specific parameters that I have to stick with for a character. If it's a legacy character like Wolverine, for example, I've got to keep in that same tone. I've got to try to maintain something with a semblance of what's been done before, that's honoring what's been done before, but with my own take on it. So a lot of it really depends on the writing and the director and the producer and what they want, and it's really our job to service their vision. So I think that's a mistake a lot of voice actors make when they first get in, is they think it's all about them. It's not about them at all. We're really there just to realize somebody else's vision in the best way we possibly can. So for me, that happens to be a very organic process.
Interesting. That's very cool. Now, speaking of getting into voice acting, I know that you also offer your online voice acting masterclass through Bloomvox Studios, right?
Yes, bloomvoxstudios.com.
Excellent. If you guys want to get involved, check it out. Now, what inspired you to start teaching other people your craft, and how rewarding has that journey been for you so far?
I didn't want to teach. I didn't know how to teach, but going to conventions all over the world, everything became a teaching moment. At every signing at the tables here and at every panel, people would ask questions, and I can't help myself but to try to guide people so they don't make the same mistakes that most of us did. It's a hard business. It's the entertainment business. It's very predatory sometimes, and I just can't stand when people get taken advantage of. So that was the impetus for beginning this thing. And the people that I surrounded myself with in my company kept bugging me for years and years and years to start teaching. Very reluctant to do it. It took me a couple of years to basically dissect what I had been doing for 30 years and to be able to impart that in a logical way so that somebody could take that in from the very beginning and actually be able to work with it. And I also did a lot of years of personal growth work, and so I try to incorporate that in too, so when the new student comes in, they get a foundation of feeling good in their own body, not taking rejection and letting it tear them down, but actually using that as a stepping stone to move forward, or an opening to move forward. Helping people to make friends with their voice. A lot of people hate the sound of their own voice. So I started with those kinds of fundamentals that they can take into any creative endeavor that they do in their life.
Right.
And voiceover just happens to be the vehicle that I know. So I built on that, and then we do all of the core fundamentals for voiceover. That was the first 30 classes. And out of that, after that, I was out of information, basically. That was all I knew for 30 years of doing this. So I started bringing in the best of the best people in the business, the best actors that I knew, the best directors, dialect coaches, demo producers. And I just wanted to put them in front of the students because there is no other hub where they can get all of that in one place.
It's amazing.
And these truly are the best people in the world. So now we've got over 200 hours of programming that's archived. And when a student signs up, even if it's just for 1 month, they have access to all of that.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
It's something that wasn't available for any of us, and I wanted to give them an affordable entry point that will give them real-world information they can actually use immediately.
That's fantastic. So guys, if you're looking to get into voice acting, learn from the best. Check out bloomvoxstudios.com, right?
Bloomvoxstudios.com, BLUMVOX studios.com. And we have a free masterclass too. So go onto the website, take the free masterclass. If you like it, sign up. If not, we'll refer you somewhere else. We just want you to do well and have a great time doing it.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for doing this. It sounds like we're getting kicked out.
We're
so
getting
we should
kicked
probably
out.
Wrap this
is
up.
the end of the show.
But you're here all weekend, right?
I am here all
Guys,
weekend.
come on out to FAN EXPO Canada. Meet Steve Blum. Bring some Funko Pops for him to sign.
Thank you. Combo Collectibles.